Present time.
I might. I was looking around here. And I kind of saw something that gave me a bit of a shock. Yeah. Uh, it's quite a large board you got there, mate. You got a. Do you happen to have a? I don't know, maybe just like a permit or a license for that cook? Because if you don't, I'm gonna have to confiscate it. I'm gonna have to take it from you. But if you got a license, I mean, I'm just gonna have to do what one naturally does when they see one of that magnitude. If you know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Hello, welcome. My name is well, you know the name. You know the name. It's me, the guy, the lad, and the dude, here in my chattest of outfits, with the chain, with the self-cut tank top, with the microphone, the new mic that I can blow the fuck out by amplifying the volume a lot because I don't have enough power. But it's okay. It's all right. It's okay and it's all right. It's okay and it's all right and it's very very cool. So listen. I know that the past few episodes of 69, wait, no, sorry, series none, 69, ha 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 ha, 96, series none. It's been a lot of video watching, and I know that we came here with the intention. This entire series is about. I mean, it's about reading. It's a very like right reading based. That's not the word for it. It's a very based experience. And so I have these planned out, and we're just gonna be reading something very hot, some very nice content here. The Yandere Simulator. Not the FAQ like it says here, but the debunk section. Now I went looking for this shit here in the about, and I was like, wait a minute, did Alex Mahon? Yeah, Alex Mahon. Did Alex Mahon clean his shit up? Also, I shaved. I look fucking great. I look amazing now. I look godlike. Did Alex Mahon clean this shit up? But then I searched Yandere Sim debunk, and that's some suspicious stuff right there. Oh, you can't see it, right? And you can't find debunk here, right? Because that's the page I want. So here's how you find if you don't know. You go to contact. You go to I want to ask Yandere Dev to debunk a rumor. It's a fucking you want to contact this guy. He has a drama area because he has that much bullshit going on. I don't know about you, but if somebody has and there's no sitemap on this website either. Holy shit, it's Pat Rock 150 Poggers. Let's go. If you don't have a sitemap, there's no sitemap for that shit. If you have a section of a website dedicated to pointing out that people make up drama about you, that's an issue. So before we get reading, I'm gonna go to the YouTube audio library and play their longest songs. And we're gonna just you got the longest song here, 32 minutes by Kevin McLeod. And this guy is God. Kevin McLeod. He's goaded. If you don't know him, you don't know enough. Almost enough tranquility. Let's go. How's that audio? That audio looks okay. It looks all right. I'm staring at those levels right now. They're looking pretty okay. Doesn't gotta be too loud. Turn it up here. The mixing session's pretty fun. Max it out so I guess it sounds balanced for you as it sounds for me. Yeah, that should be okay. That should be alright. So the first one, a hitter. A hitter. Yandere Dev is rude to fans and refuses to apologize. In short, 99.98% of the time, my interactions with fans are perfectly civil. The other 0.02% occurred under very stressful circumstances, and it would be unreasonable to judge me for these interactions. It would be unreasonable to judge Yandere Dev for things he did and said because he was stressed. I mean, if I'm stressed out and I call someone a testicle juggling clown headed ass, I still called him that. I still said that. Before I talk about this, it is extremely important for you to understand the circumstances that I've been placed in. For several years, a group of people have been doing some pretty screwed up things to me. They prank call my phone, damn. They send weird things to my house, damn. They spam me pictures with bestiality/animal abuse, damn. They flag all of my social media to try to get my accounts banned, damn. They hack my accounts, damn. They try to turn my friends against me, damn. And they submit false reports to the police in an attempt to get the SWAT team to show up at my house. So they did those things like one time. I mean, sending you shitty pictures is, I mean, it's rough, but it's not gonna kill you. For a very long time, I was hesitant to ever use the word harassment to describe what was happening to me. I didn't want anyone to think I was trying to create a victim identity for myself. I avoided speaking about this matter for as long as I possibly could, but at this point, I can't keep silent about it any longer, and I think any reasonable person would agree that what's happening to me definitely qualifies as harassment. Yeah, I would. If you are harassed and abused for an extended period of time, it's eventually going to affect your mood. If your mood gets bad enough, it will cloud your judgment and affect how you speak to others. And this is the serious mode. There have been times when, while I was under a lot of stress due to constant harassment, I said something rude to another person. But this is not an indication that I'm a bad guy. It's an indication that if a person is treated like garbage for several years, it will begin to affect their behavior. You mean like a school shooter? Man, just said I mean, listen. Just say, nerdy upper middle class white guy, likes his waifus, treated like garbage for several years developing the game. It will begin to affect their behavior. I'm just thinking, listen, I've heard many stories like it, and a lot of them end with someone grabbing a gun. A lot of them don't, but a lot of them do. Also, this is not an indication I'm a bad guy. Well, it might not be an indication, but it doesn't mean you are a bad guy. It also doesn't mean that anyone's a bad guy. Why is it always extremes, man? You gotta say like people are bad people? God damn, bro. I have about 600 interactions with fans per month. Yandere Simulator has been in development for over 70 months. Just say years, motherfucker. That means that I have had more than 42,000 interactions with fans? What the fuck is wrong with this dude? Why did you quantify it like that? Who counts interactions? Once or twice per year, I have a negative interaction with a fan. That means that over the course of 70 months, there have been about 10 occasions where he was doing math, where I was rude to a fan. It's possible to find screenshots and video clips of these extremely rare interactions. However, this does not change the fact that I've had... Is this why he was doing the math? Wait, okay, hold on. Let me open up the calculator real quick. I don't know percentages. But I mean, listen. Let's just do 10 divided by was it 42,000? That's where this guy did what I did. He counted. He was counting interactions. He was counting the positive ones, and he's making up equations. He's making up equations to quantify positive and negative interactions, so he can do 0.0. I had a project just like this. I just handled it today. But it wasn't like this. It was about fucking shit. It was school stuff. It wasn't positive and negative interactions, bro. Come on. Really? That's kind of sad, bro. Okay, some people have tried to claim those negative interactions, that these negative interactions represent how I treat people. That doesn't make sense. It's like accusing me of being an alcoholic because I drank 2 beers over the course of 1 year. No, it's not. It's like saying you're an asshole sometimes. Okay. It's simply not reasonable to say that I treat my fans badly, just because there were a handful of interactions that went poorly. I mean, if somebody isn't being nice to you and you're being an asshole to them, that's still on you. That's you blaming other people for why you treat others badly. That's just called having poor mental health. Every day, the anti-Yandere dev crowd, who they is? What's their names? They ain't got names because they don't exist. What if you're not anti or pro? I'm not anti-Yandere dev. I don't give a fuck. Sends me messages like, I hope you die. I hope you die in a fire. I hope you get raped to death by dogs. I hope your whole family gets AIDS, etc., etc. The meanest thing I've ever said to a person is tame compared to the abuse that I've received from the anti-Yandere dev crowd on a daily basis. What'd you say? When someone contacts me and says, hey Yandere dev, you said something rude to me in the past, and it hurt me a lot, I feel guilty and ashamed, and I naturally feel compelled to apologize to them. So far, I've said I'm sorry to every single person who's approached me and confronted me about something rude I said to them in the past. Yeah, probably. I believe that. Why would you not want to say that? I don't think it's reasonable to judge me for losing my cool a handful of times, after I was put through prolonged harassment and abuse for several years. With that said, I'm always willing to speak one-on-one with anyone that feels hurt by something I said, and if I regret what I said to them, I will apologize to them directly. You know what? This right here, plus what would you add to it? I guess plus this? Or even just plus this. This? Okay, you take this first sentence here, and you add it to this. And that's all you gotta say. People were mean to me, so I'm on edge. And so I was mean to you, but I apologize to you. That simple. Don't tell us a story about you being a victim while also saying, I don't want to be a victim here, but I'm a victim. And make excuses. Because there's a difference between a bullshit excuse and an actual excuse. An excuse like, I was fucking sick. That's an excuse. An excuse like, I was walking home on Sunday and I was waiting for the bus and there was a lot of rain and I didn't want to go in the bus shelter because there was an old lady there, with everything going on in the world in the pandemic. I didn't want to scare her, so I was standing outside in the cold and the bus was late, and you tell a whole motherfucking story about why you're sick. That's a bullshit excuse because you don't need the full thing. You were sick. Bleh. Yandere Dev is a bad programmer. In short, no, I'm not. Around 2015. Are they all this long? I think they are all this long. That's pretty short. 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 Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, that's pretty short. Man. God damn, bro. Jesus, bro. Okay, but still. Oh my fucking god, I'm gonna shoot somebody else in GTA 5 Online. Around 2015, when Yandere Simulator got popular on YouTube back in the days when I was a piece of shit, I felt a lot of pressure to upload content as frequently as possible. I committed to a new video every 2 weeks upload schedule, which required me to hastily slap features into the game without regards for optimization or long-term maintainability. In order to maintain a steady upload schedule, Yandere Sim was developed almost exclusively, my phone went off, in crunch time. What do you mean crunch time, bro? You're paying to yourself. It's not crunch time, you don't have a team. It's an indie game. What kind of indie game uses the term crunch time? It's not even done. It's not even done. The game's not done. The game's still not done. I should add that. The game has been out for the game's been being made for actually like 10 years. It's like a 10-year-old game at this point. Crunch time. You didn't finish it. You didn't crunch anything. It was fucking squish time, bro. During this phase of the game's development, I wasn't trying to write clean or efficient code. You still have them. I was prioritizing the act of putting cool new features into the game as quickly as possible so that I can make frequent uploads to YouTube. You still do that. My plan, which has remained unchanged since the beginning of the game's development, was to produce a cool demo. Also, 2 years of crunch time on a Unity developed game is pretty silly for something that's not very impressive. It looks and feels like a Unity game. It also looks like it feels like a Unity game, which is even worse. But besides the point. That wasn't a throat clear, I was just doing some grime step, you know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? Alright, cool. Remain unchanged, cool demo. Hold a crowdfunding campaign and use the money to hire a professional software engineer to completely replace me as Yandere Sim's lead programmer. I never intended for my code to be the game's final code, just a placeholder code that would be good enough to produce a playable demo that shows off most of the game's intended functionality. I explained this thoroughly in a November 2018 video called What's Going On with Yandere Sim's Development. However, it seems that most people have forgotten or disregarded this video. That's fucking stupid. Placeholder code? Like the entire game? I'm not a programmer. I'm not gonna cap. I'm not a programmer. But placeholder code for an entire game sounds fucking stupid. Especially when a demo of the game is something you put out when the game is pretty much completed. Right, you're giving a section of the finished game, or at least the around finished game. You're not trying. When you make a game, and those are just basic manager. This isn't like me trying to like fake my way into being a dev. When you make something, you're not trying like. It's not a game jam. Let's compare it to that. A game jam is a game meant to be a demo, basically. It's extremely short, but it shows a lot of work for a small game, right? That's what a game jam usually is. It's how much can you do in a small period of time. It's not like make a full game, make a demo of a full game. It's make a small game, right? And so you figure out new ideas, you figure out new tech to put into the game jam. That's what it is. That's why they're cool, right? A sketch is a sketch. It's okay to do some things wrong in a sketch, because ultimately a sketch is about practicing and refining those skills. But you don't you can turn a sketch into a full drawing, but you probably wouldn't use a sketch in the drawing. It'd be a base, it'd be a far behind base feature, or base part of it. Like a layer you would never even interact with again, because it's base, it's a sketch. Right? You'd resketch and finalize everything about it, but besides the point, of course. To be honest, there is no point in analyzing code that was written under the circumstances described above. The game's current code was never meant to be final. The whole game was just functional. It only needed to serve one simple purpose: allowing people to experience a playable demo so that they can make an informed decision about whether or not they support the crowdfunding campaign. Reviewing the code in its current state is about as meaningful as reviewing the earliest rough draft of a novel, instead of reviewing the final published work. But Alex Mahon, there is no final published work. It's not done yet. It's not out. It's not there. And also. Authors don't expect you to pay for the rough draft. I mean, people pay for the Patreon. Authors don't like, if you want an early version of the book, give me some money on Patreon. They're like, hey, I mean they shouldn't be like that because that's stupid. But they're usually not like that. That's why there's a final published version, buddy. But besides the point, I'm fully aware of which scripts are suboptimal. Yeah, you know that Zoloff script. It's not cutting it. You know what I'm saying? It's something stronger. That fucking Addy script. It's not good. You know, you got a script for that cough syrup too. I mean, it's okay, but I mean, got any stronger stuff? You know what I mean? Drug jokes. And I know exactly what would need to be done in order to improve them. However, I intend to stick with the original plan. Hold a crowdfunding campaign, hire a programmer to replace me, and then go through the refactoring phase. But you wouldn't do anything; it'd be someone else. There are a lot of myths about Yandere Simulator's code. For example, a long chain of if-else statements can't possibly harm the game's frame rate if it's in a function that only runs one frame and never runs again. The majority of statements people make about Yandere Simulator's code aren't actually valid or accurate in the first place. These inaccurate statements are allowed to run wild because most people don't know enough about computer code to realize that they aren't hearing a true or valid statements. That shit true. That shit true. That shit true. That shit is actually true. Let's not cap. He's not capping there. That's like I heard through the grapevine. I heard through the grapevine from that guy who got banned from that one fruit farming website, that one New Zealand birder website. You know that website. The New Zealand bird website. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. The New Zealand bird farmers. Yeah. You know them boys. And you know that guy with the profile picture. You know that guy, the chat dude, the psych dude. Yeah. That's actually true. And because people hate the game are like a lot of kids who hate it because it's just they've been told to. It's irresponsible sharing information, but that's. I mean, you read all this shit and it's like, well, this all sounds dumb, Alex, but okay. The Unity profiler tells me that the CPU is spending an exceptionally long time on rendering, physics, pathfinding, and updating the UI. Even the game's most inefficient, suboptimal scripts are barely putting a dent in the FPS. The other factors are far more important. In January, my average frame rate was 30 FPS, but in May, my average frame rate jumped to a 55 FPS. This was not achieved by converting if-else statements to switch statements, but by optimizing inclusion culling and removing unnecessary physics operations. This is also heard through the grapevine because I'm doing this right here. I'm people right now. I'm people. But from what I'm to understand about, again, hearing about the shit, is that switch statements are more like a quality of life, they're quality of life lines of code that make it easier to update things and change things around, so you're not like looking through a bunch of if-else statements. That it's a small amount of mental work, but it adds up if you have a lot of if-else statements. Music goes down. Okay. In the end, I severely regret my decision to commit to a new video every 2 weeks update schedule in order to implement major features back to back on a tight deadline for multiple years. I had to make numerous sacrifices to codebase's maintainability, and also in my personal life. Personal life, sure. You have one of those. Remaining in constant crunch time for a period of 2 years put me into a state of severe burnout. No, that was your shitty code, man. And it had a tremendous impact on my physical and mental health. Because I have remained fully committed to Yandere Simulator for 6 years straight, I have never truly had an opportunity to recover from that burnout, and remain in that state to this day. Holy shit. Holy fuck. This guy's gonna die. Yo. This is horrifying. This guy's gonna get shot. What the apparently, he's living in fucking 6 years of burnout. Man, it's almost like you don't like the fucking game that you made. It's almost like you hate what you're doing right now, and you should probably stop doing it. I mean, I was in a state of severe burnout doing art stuff for a while. I didn't just keep doing it. I was in a severe burnout of, like, playing video games for a while. So I played Overwatch until I got sad about how much I hated Overwatch and played another game. Bought Hades. I have not played Hades yet. No, I did, but then I was just too tired because I was sick for reasons. Wow, that sounds really suspicious. That sounds like I was like fucking dudes or something. I don't know. I was really sick for reasons. Yandere steals assets. In short, no, I don't. Sometimes when developing a game prototype, it is convenient to temporarily use placeholder assets. For example, shout out to AOA. For example, a mod from another game, or a texture that was found through a Google image search. For a while, Yandere Simulator contained placeholder assets. It was never my intention to keep these assets in the game. They were just placeholders. I explained in this video back in 2017. This was done purely to make the prototyping phase go by faster and smoother. Referring to this as stealing or theft would be an exaggeration. Ever since early 2015, the majority of the game's assets have been original. 2015 was the last year. 2014 was the last year when the majority of the game's assets were unoriginal. As of now, Yandere Simulator no longer contains any assets from other games. Every single model presently in Yandere Simulator is a model that was created exclusively for Yandere Simulator, or a model that was illegally purchased from an online store. The models that came from online stores make a very small fraction of the number of assets in the game. So, I'm gonna listen. I'm a media studies student, so I'm a show basically professionally. I'm training to be a show. This is really bad PR, and somebody else should write this. I should write this. In short, no, I don't. Sometimes, not even sometimes, I'm using placeholder assets from other games in a pre-public version of the game is an accepted practice because it just allows you to use a placeholder and gives a general idea of what you want. End sentence. New line, new sentence. I'm assuming that people are getting confused between what makes up a purchased asset and a stolen asset. The game uses some purchased assets that were not made for the game, but I have purchased a license to use. Period. End sentence. That's it. Right here, the claim that Yandere Dev steals assets. Period. Because not everyone's yelling at him. That's making yourself a victim. That's making yourself seem like the logical guy here, and not like just a person saying their bullshit on the internet. But what do I know? I'm just trained for this shit. I'm gonna fucking flex that as much as I can. Fuck it, I don't care. I don't care. It's not like I'm talking to an actual game dev. Well, I am talking to an actual game dev. But a bad game dev, got him. Yandere Dev streams video games all day long instead of working. In short, no, I don't. That's not a new line here for some reason. I work on Yandere Simulator for over 8 hours every day, including on weekends. I take a 3-hour break to play video games once per day, but I'm still working on the game for more hours than a normal full-time job. Working full-time means working 40 hours a week. This requires a person to work for 8 hours a day, not counting weekends. That leaves 16 hours in a day. In theory, a person could play video games for 16 hours a day and still work full-time. Why did you explain what working full-time is? I mean, I know that you think they're kids, but why did you explain it like he's Jan Sims planning. He's Jan's planning. I actually work more hours than a full-time job, and I also work on weekends. I've been working overtime for several years straight in order to maintain a steady rate of progress on Yandere Sim. 3 hours of leisure per day is all I allow myself. It'd be pretty unreasonable to suggest that I have to be a slave who works non-stop every hour a day, without even being allowed any time for leisure whatsoever. Once per month, I take a day off to do a 12-hour stream. Those streams are obviously not an indication of how long I usually stream for. That's cool, bro. Why don't you make a good game, fam? That's real cool, fam. Make a good game. That's real, poggers. Finish your fucking game, bro. That's real cool, man. Where's the fucking game, then? Where that shit is, bruh? Where's the fucking game, bruh? Where it is, bruh? Where it is? Huh? 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 It's almost like the product that you have to show for your 40 hours a week, for your more than full-time job, just kind of proves that you're bad at what you do, or you're just... No, you're just bad at what you do. It's almost like you're just bad at what you do, Yandere Dev. It's almost like you're just shit at your job. If you've been working... Apparently, if you've been working 8 hours a day, every day, on average, with a 3-hour break, right? For multiple years, because you said it yourself. You said, wait, several years straight, in order to maintain a steady year of progress. Bro, why don't you, like, make a good game? Finish the fucking game, or just get off the fucking pot, bruh? Because what I'm seeing here is that, well, yeah, sure, you worked on it for a long time, but you certainly didn't have much to show for it, yeah? You worked on a project for a month and it's not fucking done. Maybe you're just bad at your fucking job. Well, that's just me, yeah? It would be pretty unreasonable to suggest that I have to be a slave who works non-stop every hour of the day. But is it unreasonable to suggest that you do a good job? If you're gonna complain like this about shit, bruh. Like, if for some odd reason people were asking me, please do more than one episode per week, scum god. And I was like, bruh, I take an hour out of my day to do this shit. It's been 30 minutes. Oh, fuck. I would just be like, you know what? Yeah, I could, but I'm lazy. Yonder Adev manipulated his audience by using the words chill and heated. In short, I screwed up when I chose those words. However, I wasn't intentionally trying to be manipulative. I don't think cult leaders are like, I want to start a cult. But that's just me, though. This is about a video from 2017. www.youtube.com/watch V equals OF-VW V and W, big ups. C3AESE, big ups. In this video, I stated that I felt pressured to work insane hours because I didn't want to disappoint the fans. I also acknowledged the possibility that perhaps I was paranoid about nothing, and the majority of fans would be forgiving of me towards me if I chose to work less hours. I used the words heated and chill to describe two categories of fans: those who were disappointed by my development speed and those who were not. At the time, I thought those two words were relatively natural. I wouldn't skew poll results. However, in retrospect, I realized these two words carry stronger connotations than I initially thought. I wish I had said category A and category B instead. Alright, sorry about that. So you didn't intentionally want to manipulate people, but you used words like heated and chill. That just means you're stupid. Just say you were being stupid. Like, I know you said I screwed up. Just say you were stupid. I was stupid to you. Like, you don't need this bullshit. Just say, I didn't understand that heated meant mad and chill meant, like, cool. Being chill is a positive thing. And so I didn't realize I would skew people towards one or the other. Also, he said neutral here and not natural, but whatever. Neutral words. And why did you. Who uses neutral words? I thought they were relatively neutral. Why did you use them then? To describe two things. Why did you use two neutral words to describe two things? It's almost like you meant something by using them, huh? This song is long as fuck. Hold on, hold on. Alright, okay. On to the next one. 30 minutes. Fluidscape, again, by Kevin McLeod. Let's go! Yandere Dev couldn't take criticism from Mike Z. Haha, Mike Z, can he breathe yet? No. In short, yeah, but you should be aware that it was only because because of an extremely specific set of circumstances. Mike Z is a programmer who worked on such titles such as Skullgirls and Indivisible. Big ups to Anya. There was a point in time where I put Mike on a huge pedestal. I idolized him and thought of him as a mythical godlike figure. I practically worshipped him. So when he criticized the game prototype of mine developed in 2013, I took it personally and felt really hurt. I felt like my dreams had been crushed by my hero, and I responded by getting really upset and throwing a childish tantrum. That exact circumstance, idolizing someone to an unhealthy degree and taking the words too personally, only occurred once. Over the past 7 years, there has never been a similar incident. A one-time event does not represent me in the slightest. If you're curious in a more situation, you can read this post. https://yanderedevtumblr.com/post 120037111885 clearing up misunderstandings part 1 Mike Z. You know what? That's good. You know what I do? Fuck that. That's an excuse. Get it out of there. Say who he is. Say why this happened, right? Say what happened, and then say the outcome. And then show what happened. Put it at the end. It's literally just that. That's actually a really good PR statement right there. Here's who is who. Here's what happened, right? What happened is this, and what you think of it is this, right? It's like situation. It's situation and response. It's basic, right? Yandere Dev fans harassed one of his crew, and Yandere Dev refused to condemn the harassment. That voice got way more mentally infirm as I went on, but it's okay. In short, that technically happened, but you should consider the circumstances before casting judgment. After being harassed for over a year, I eventually became very angry and bitter. One day I heard that one of the people who harassed me was receiving harassment from Yandere fans in retaliations from what they had been doing to me. I thought, wow, it sounds like karma. If you preach hate all day long, you'll eventually receive hate in return. Your actions have consequences. You can't get away with being a jerk on the internet forever. It'll eventually bite you in the ass. It's about this time this person was given the taste of their own medicine. Wow, that's just DSP. I was asked to condemn the harassment this person was receiving. I didn't have the heart to do it. I had been tormented for too long, and I had grown too angry and too bitter. I could not bring myself to condemn fans who were striking back at the people who had been harassing me for over a year. It later turned out the person who was being harassed was in fact not one of the people who was tormenting me. It was just an innocent bystander. I completely reversed my stance on the matter when I learned this. There's a word I can use on Twitch that only I can use, and a few of the try hard emojis and almighty face emojis out there can use. Is there an LTG emoji? No, there's not. And the come on bros of this world. You know what I'm saying? Type come on bros, type your tryhards and come on bros in chat. And I won't use it here, but I will say bruh. Just an instant. How would you not? You didn't look at it. You just thought, well, some asshole's being an asshole, so he deserves this. You might think it's really easy to say the words harassment is wrong, and I condemn harassment. It is. Check it out. Harassment is wrong, and I condemn harassment. You can say it too, actually. It's pretty easy. It's like 7 words. It's kind of epic. But you need to put yourself in my shoes. I want you to try to imagine something. Seriously, actually imagine it as vividly as you can. Imagine that you were the target of a harassment campaign for 12 months, a full year, you said it was over a year, of people screwing with you, trying to sabotage every aspect of your life. That's probably not true. Trying to ruin whatever projects you're working on. You have one project. Trying to make your friends turn against you, and trying to ruin your reputation. After enduring that kind of treatment for a extended period of time, you change as a person. You wouldn't be your current self. You would slowly be transformed into someone weary and miserable. But more importantly, you'd become bitter and spiteful. So, school shooter segment, school threat segment, young minor threat segment. You might not be able to imagine yourself ever doing something like this, but eventually you'd actually begin to wish harm upon the people who had been abusing you. You'd eventually reach a point where you hope your tormentors would start receiving the same treatment they have given you. You want to see them brought to justice. It's not easy to say the words harassment is wrong when your life is being shattered into pieces and you want your enemies to finally have a taste of their own medicine. Imagine how broken a poor person has to be to reach the point where they can't condemn harassment because they are so desperate for a solution that absolutely any option is on the table. That's the point I was driven to. People hammered away at me for months and months and months and months and months until I broke, and I couldn't even bring myself to say, stop harassing that girl. Eventually, I did condemn the harassment though. https://yanderedev.tumblr.com/post/1667399103330/harassment. Now you see the thing about this is that homie watches too much anime, but also uh the difference, I don't like when people try to do this thing like imagine if you were me, because if you're a streamer, that means you literally have people who are doing this for you. It's not like random assholes harassing somebody else for something that they're doing. It's people that like you harassing that person. They're harassing that person for you, and they're harassing the wrong person. Like, okay, so like you see, where was it? The line where this is wrong is right here. In this entire fucking wall of bullshit, right? He's the bad guy here, sure, and there's a line right there. But then the parts where he's like, "It's not my fault, bruh. I was people being mean to me." Look at this shit. He wrote like a character motivation. He wrote a monologue. He wrote a fucking monologue. He wrote a fucking monologue to explain why he couldn't just say don't harass these random people on the internet, because that's stupid. And it happened to me and it was dumb, and it's gonna happen again and it's dumb. Don't do it. It's fucking ridiculous, really. That's legitimately sad. This fucking monologue bullshit, man. Fuck off. Yandere Dev demonizes everyone who criticizes him. And no, I don't. What the fuck is this then? What am I reading here? He's demonizing them right now. You see the fact that all of these end in an exclamation point. That's demonizing in a way. Or at the very least it's representing them something that they're probably actually not, which is, well, they probably actually are angry yelling kids. But it's painting everybody in that same image, and it's kind of disingenuous. And it certainly doesn't make them look like normal human beings either. Also, this website has a great design. Look at that, that's nice. That's nice and it's subtle. You're like, what is the heart for? And you click on it, it's like, holy shit, it's a light to dark mode. It's really cool, actually. I really like it. It's a nice website. There's a lot of things here. There's no like sitemap, but it's it's very for a game. It's very uncluttered. I'm a big fan of it. There are various types of people who offer criticism for Yandere Simulator. 1. Fans of the game who point out a legitimate problem with the game's design and suggest an improvement. There are many occasions where I've responded, "That's a really good point, thanks," and fix a flaw or improve the feature based on criticism I've read online. One positive one. 2. Fans who express concerns about the game's development, but are simply asking for clarification. They ask questions in good faith, and their intention is to seek knowledge / get answers. I always respond to them and provide them with whatever clarification they seek. Positive. 3. Former fans who become disenchanted with the game's development and are now pessimistic about its future. Sometimes they express disappointment in a civil way. Other times they don't. Sometimes their complaints are completely valid, and other times their concerns are a result of not understanding the nuances of game development. I'm gonna call that one a mixed bag. My throat is dying right now. Holy shit! That cold water was too cold. That's the thing, actually. Don't drink cold water when you're presenting, because you'll like tighten your vocal cords and that'll fuck you up. So I fucked up. It's over. My throat's actually bodied. I can't do it anymore. I can't do my cool dynamic voices. 4. People who have become completely convinced that I'm some sort of con artist pulling off a tremendous scam. They believe that they are righteous heroes who are exposing an evil bad guy that deserves to be taken out for his heinous crimes. They are convinced I deserve no mercy or compassion because they think I'm some sort of cartoonish villain. 5. People who enjoy shaming others, ridiculing others, humiliating others, gossiping about others, digging for dirt on people's past, and ruining other people's lives for entertainment. Their favorite activity is saying nasty things about people. There is no component of righteousness involved. It's simply their hobby to be cruel to others over the internet. He's DSPing right now. That's demonizing. That's. Oh no, never mind. He got them. People can't be critics and be assholes. So, Roger Ebert, get out. That's one critic I know, but critics can't be like assholes can't be critics too. That's a great narrative. I like that narrative. That's a fun narrative. Categories 1, 2, and 3 are not critics. Category 4 are not critics. They are misguided people spreading misinformation. Category 5 are not critics. They are abusers who stalk, dox, and harass their targets. Stalk! Dox! Fuck. Oh, shit. Stalk! Dox! Shut it down, harass targets! That doesn't work. Fuck. Stalk! Dox! Shut it down, open up, stop. Holy shit. Why, why do you type it like that? Like, shut it down. Fuck, stock dogs. That goes hard. Those two bars right there. That's a good pretty good parody song. Just fucking the Troller's anthem is nice. All right, okay. Semantics, but it's like the people here are all like nice, good people, kind of. The people here are actually fucking villains. They're actually like terrible, awful people, and so they shouldn't even be regarded as like critics because they're mean. Remember, guys, if you're being a critic, you can't be mean. You have to be nice. That's the rule of the internet. When if someone has like enough ass pats, you have to be nice to them because they're gonna like say like, how dare you be mean to me, while also critiquing me. That means you're not a real fan. Which is how you fucking swirl the drain. Yandere dev fired a tiny build programmer. In short, no, I didn't. Yandere Simulator is banned from Twitch TV, the biggest streaming website on the internet. Tiny Build told me that if I signed up with them, they would try to get the game unbanned on Twitch. Tiny Build also offered to hire a programmer to help me develop Yandere Simulator. I thought that if I signed up with Tiny Build, maybe people who were harassing me would stop seeing me as a failure. Bro, what the fuck? And would finally back off and leave me alone. Why did you think that, you fucking idiot? I thought if I got signed, people who dislike me would be nice to me. No! Forget the trolls, bro. Leave them alone. Who cares? Whatever. However, in the end, Tiny Build couldn't even get the game unbanned from Twitch, and the harassment didn't actually stop. Yeah, it's because they're trolls. That's their thing. Tiny Build hired a professional programmer so I could have assistance in developing the game. The programmer converted the game's code from JavaScript to C. I don't think that's C sharp, so I'm just going to call it C, and upgraded the game from Unity 4 to Unity 5. Both of these things were a great help. However, after that, there wasn't really much more that he could do. In order for him to do anything significant, he would first have to rewrite some of the game's core systems. I would be perfectly okay with that, but it would take several months to rewrite those systems, and during that time, I wouldn't be able to produce any updates or produce any new builds. We all agreed that'd be a very bad thing if I lost the ability to release updates and builds for a period of several months. So the programmer's hands were tied, and he couldn't actually do anything significant. He still wanted to help, so make little changes to the game's code, but that was mostly just busy work and didn't actually improve the game. And it was kind of starting to interfere with my work. Things weren't working out. The game wasn't unbanned on Twitch, the harassment didn't stop, and the programmer couldn't do anything significant. As a result, the Tiny Build partnership really wasn't benefiting anyone. So Tiny Build and I simply decided to part ways. Wades? Shout out to Wade. I have avoided talking about this for many reasons. I didn't want to cause unnecessary drama. However, I broke my silence on the matter on June 10th, 2018. HTTPS, I'm not reading that. I gotta slow down for a bit because I'm doing the thing where I lose my original voice and I'm kind of fucking up here. I'm not in a rush. I sighed to the microphone. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I'm not in a rush. So what he's saying here is that the entire game is basically built upon hype. I think when he says we all agree, I think he means that he said so and they were like, yeah, your game is kind of shit and it depends on people being hyped for it and not like actual improvements. But in my mind right here, This doesn't coincide with this, which is that the game has the Alex's final role in the game is making a fucking demo and then dumping it off. The issue I have with it is that if that's the final point of the game, would it not be better just to stop development for a couple months? Maybe like, I don't know, start something else, practice on something else while this gets done? Because that means that the entire end game of the game development, it's pretty much fucking, it's this on a larger scale. So what would then take months for one person to do would, I guess, take months, but there'd be like 5 dudes doing it, right? There'd be 5 assholes doing it, as opposed to one, or like multiple dudes for doing it. Is that Patreon? That was like a Kickstarter. I guess not. Wait, is there? I guess not. But I mean, like, yes, I am 18 or older. Don't worry. I swear there was like a thing. Also, why is she a goth girl now? What the fuck? Kinda sus. Kinda sus, TBH. There was a thing I wanted to find. Hey, Silicon Era, big ups. 2016. It was like what's the term for it? Fuck. A timeline? Timeline, big ups. Shout out to all my timelines out there. No, it isn't. And then you get the lore timeline, huh? Fuck. Is it like a plan? It's not a... It is a plan. I'm really itchy right now. I'm not sure why. Sorry about that. I forgot what is the term. It's not a... Is it like a dev timeline? Maybe is the term I'm looking for. No. Whatever. Laughing stock. I bet this guy's shit content. Let's laugh at him for a second. Hold on. Nope. That's pretty sus. But
Greetings, dear viewer.
nope. Shut up. Yeah, this guy sucks. What game is that? Splatoon? Yeah, this guy sucks. I paid YouTubers to roast my friends. Yeah, this guy sucks. Overwatch problems. The entire fucking game is a problem. Do you remember Yin Yang Yo? Yeah, I do. Game Grumps versus Oni Plays versus Super Mega. Why are you riding these dicks? Leave these dicks alone. Grumpy Cat's worst Christmas ever review. What is this movie? The YouTube Iceberg explained. Bro, what the fuck is this? Reviewing the Persona dancing games. They're dancing games. Are they any good? They're dancing games. Top 10 obscure pieces of lost media. Is that the Scott Pilgrim game? I'm gonna shoot this dude. In Minecraft. There's... if you like video games, the amount of the media blitz okay, whatever. I'm pissed. You've been riding that dick for a bit, yeah? You like it a little bit? Yeah. The problems with Connor the Waffle, art theft, I don't care. Have you heard of Cartoon Network racing? Probably. Cancel culture, a toxic mentality we need to stop. Max, Pro Jared, and James Charles, and Slazo. Yo, the fact that I know those names by heart. Shout out to Hot Diggity. Shout out to Max Ginobili. What's his name? The motherfucking Italian name. This is a fun segment right now. What's his name? Yeah, it's not Ginobili. God damn it. Max G, what's your name? What's your fucking name? I don't say is he a baby. Max Gallardi. Motherfucker. Motherfucker Max Gallardi, motherfucker. Yo, fucking Italian ass name, motherfucker. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Max Gallardi pulls up. Shout out to Max G, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Look at this dude, motherfucker. Yeah, let's go, man. Motherfucker. Max Gallardi. Max G, Kenny G, let's go. Poggers. Motherfucker. Now I could put a take out on a cancel culture, which is that it's not a thing. You can just ignore it if you don't do anything. You can just not. You can literally like it's not a thing. It's fictional. But that's besides the point, I guess. YouTube channel critique with Scum God. That's my name. I almost forgot for a second there. Why cringe compilations are garbage content? Because they're garbage content and they're really for kids. I mean, compilations in general. I mean, why Thing is Bad is pretty garbage content too. I'm not gonna lie to you, fam. You hit Algorithm Boys? Algorithm Boys. Algorithm Boys. Algorithm Boys. Not Algorithm. Wait. Algorithm Boys. Algorithm Boys. Algorithm Boys. He was really right on that, huh? He was super writing on that. Holy shit. Man saw that top 10 obscure pieces of media and decided I'm gonna ride all over that. Mostly Danganronpa? Motherfucker. Hey, it's Aladdin. The Dango version. It's not really obscure. Why Butch Hartman is a lying manipulator, riding on that. Do you remember Hero was riding on that, riding on that, riding on that? Why animation channels are awful, riding on that. Why the arguments are against are stupid. Oh yeah, riding on that. Reading the comments on my Yandere Dev video. Riding on that. Why Himoto Umaru-chan is an abysmal show, right? Not really riding on that, actually. That's riding on that for sure. 2 years ago? 2 months ago. Never mind, it's pretty okay. The problem with the poo. Kind of riding on that for 2 years ago. Why copycat channels are bad. Riding on that. Why Thing is bad. Okay. Now that's just cack. That's just cack. What happened to licensed video games that were bad? They were bad. Also, Star Wars is a thing still, so I guess you could take my fucking. I probably shouldn't say that, huh? Yeah. But yeah, what's your name? Rhythm Rev? Fuck your content, it sucks. If you see this video, shoutouts to Rhythm Rev, your content fucking sucks. Eat my entire criticism. Nice laughing sound effect, you piece of shit, motherfucker. Ain't no fucking Max Gallardi. Big ups to Max Gallardi, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Gabagool, let's go. Shout out to my Gabagools out there. But yeah, your game fucking sucks. You're gonna do this on a larger scale? That means the game should be probably given up on if you can't fucking fix the game in a small period of like a fucking month. Your entire game is broken. Your entire game is broken and needs a guy to come in and fix it, which take months. If you live in a house that needs a guy to come in for months and fix it, your house is fucked. Get out of the house for a bit. Buy a hotel. Because if not, the house is gonna fucking... The support beams are gonna break one day and fall on your fucking head. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not even be next year. But if you keep living here for long enough, eventually you're gonna wake up unable to get up because you're crushed in a support beam on your chest. Your lungs are bleeding, your baby's dead. Your wife's dead too. And where are you? You're bleeding out. You can't breathe. You woke up in pain and horror, and you're trapped under a fucking beam because you didn't want to fucking fix your house. So fix your fucking house and stay safe out there. All right, time for one that's gonna really annoy me, I think. Yandere Dev ignored a suicidal girl. In short, not intentionally. There are weird people who record my video game streams for the sole purpose of trying to catch me saying something embarrassing. To avoid providing these people with new material, I try to ignore any sort of drama or touchy subject that comes up in the chat room when I'm streaming. At some point in time, I looked over to my chat room and realized people were having a discussion that somehow involved the topic of suicide. I wasn't sure what they were talking about, but I knew it was drama, and I knew if that I commented on what they were discussing, my stalkers would have new material for their channel. So I decided to completely ignore whatever conversation was occurring in the chat room. Much later, I learned the reason why my chat room was discussing the topic of suicide. Apparently, a girl had been expressing suicidal feelings in my chat room, and if I wasn't constantly harassed by weirdos on the internet, then I would never have made the decision to ignore my chat at that point in time. Is she dead? I don't know. You made it about yourself, bro. I kind of like that Yandere Dev is the subject here, and suicidal girl is the object. I mean, I know they're all like formatted this way, but the fact that suicidal girl is the object here is just kind of. I mean, maybe you just shouldn't. Maybe you just say I wasn't sure if that's something I should breach on stream because I don't really think it's the right time or place to talk about that stuff in a public. Like you can make other points. If I had like viewers for some reason, I would basically just say, if someone in my chat was like, I want to, end it all, I would say, hey man, if you want to talk with somebody who isn't an expert in any way, shape, or form, talk to me, but don't trust me for advice. But talk to me privately. Send me a DM message or like a whisper or like an email. Like whisper me right now and I'll talk to you, but like don't bring that up in public chat because that's a public area and that's something that isn't necessarily the right area to do it. And I think most people would do that because talking about suicide in a public chat room when you're playing a game is really fucking weird. Well, that's besides the feature, yeah. The feature, the point. Yandere Dev doesn't credit his volunteers. In short, yes, I do. Yandere Simulator has a credit scene that can be accessed from the main menu. As you might imagine, it's dedicated entirely to crediting people for their work. Outside of the game, there are two reasons why I don't mention names of volunteers. I worry that if I make volunteer names public, internet trolls will contact volunteers and harass them the same way they harass me. So the DSP one. Sometimes volunteers want to be anonymous without telling me ahead of time. There are times where I've credited the volunteer, then received an email saying, please don't credit me, remove my username. So I usually default by not publicly mentioning someone's name just to avoid the situation. But if a volunteer asks me to credit them, I credit them as they wish. You could just ignore this one, really. You could just put that right there. I mean, I guess this is okay, but you don't really need this one right here. That one again is just like more like, bruh, I'm a victim, bruh. Come on, bruh, I'm a victim, bruh. And it's like you don't really need to do that, but okay. All right. Man, some of these go crazy, huh? Some of these go crazy. Some of these go crazy. God damn. Some of these go. I mean, I know some of these, sure, but some of these still go crazy. Some of these go wild. Some of these go fucking crazy as fuck. God damn. Holy shit. What the hell? Some of these go wild as fuck and it's gonna be so tiring. Oh yeah, no music. Alright, rock that. Oh, it's a playlist. Nice, okay. Rock that Kevin McLeod, Light Awash. Yeah, you know. My Light Awash homies out there. Pulling up, pulling up, pulling up. Yeah, pull up. You know what's going on. You know what's going on. Alright, okay. Yandere Dev. No, not the first rape one. Wants to include a rape feature in Yandere Simulator. In short, no, I don't. Over a year ago, I wrote a post on Reddit about taking care of your kidnapped victims by feeding them. Someone photoshopped my post and replaced the word feed with rape. Who was saying this? It was like 3 dudes and he took it way too serious. But it went from being horrifying to being funny, so I guess I'm poggish right now. I'm pogging. Yandere Dev deletes comments. In short, yes, I delete abusive and hateful comments, as well as misinformation and false accusations. If you visit someone's blog, Twitter, blog, or YouTube videos purely because you want to be nasty and cool towards them, that's awful. A good person does not spend their time doing things like that. If you post abusive and hateful images or messages on my blog or YouTube channel, your comment will be deleted and you will be blocked or banned. Most people would probably respond the same way. That entire paragraph can be entirely wiped out. Just put the first part right there. Just the first part. You don't. Just the first part. Just the first part. Because the second one is him calling people bad people. The second one is him saying, if you're mean to me, you're a bad person. Now, of course, he says towards them, but them is he. He is them. He means him. A good person does not spend their time doing things like that. He's fucking DSPing. He's fucking Amber Linning right now. He's Amber Linning. What the fuck is this David Bowie ass beat, motherfucker? Goddamn. Yandere Dev blocks and bans people for criticism. In short, no, I don't. Nobody ever gets banned for criticism. They get banned for things that are mean. I'll run you through a few scenarios. John Smith, I'm not reading this. Not reading this. I am not reading this. This is fucking bullshit, and it's just him. It's literally just. It's just. Wait, no. It's just that. It's that one. Again. So fuck off with your bullshit. Yandere Dev wants to kill his parents. This one goes crazy. In short, no, I don't. I was extremely surprised to learn that. When I was a teenage kid, I apparently wrote a blog post about being so angry with my parents that I wanted them to die. I have absolutely no memory of ever feeling that way towards my parents, but the post exists. I guess I must have felt that way at some point in time. The post was written when I was a teenage kid. You mean a teenager? Grr, I hate my parents. I wish they were dead. Is the sort of thing an edgy teenage kid would say. This doesn't seem like a reflection of who I am. It seems like a reflection of what edgy teenage kids are like. The past feels alien and foreign, like words that were written by a completely different person. I honestly have no idea what to say about it, other than the obvious. It's from over a decade ago, and it doesn't reflect how I feel in the modern day at all. It seems absurd that there are actually people who are out there who judge me for it. Okay. Right there. That's it. That's all you need to say. I was an edgy kid. The worst thing to say here is I was surprised to learn what I said. If a motherfucker comes at you And if you come at a motherfucker and say, "Did I say that? Did I do that? Did I do that?" Be scared of that, homie. This is exactly, and you know what? Not spoilers, because because please, I want that God damn it. Wait. Yeah, it's that. It's that. It's literally this, even this right here. You think I'm forgetting about 19-year-old random flushing and getting shot when a bear is? It's exactly that. It's just him forgetting what he said. Wait, I said that? Shit. Real? For real talk? I said that shit? I ain't say that shit. I said that shit? He said that shit. But here's the thing. Screenshot? Get out of here. Yo, poggers. Not a Rembrandt? Get out of here. And a high Q poster? Get out of here. Leave. Get out. Toxic. Toxic as fuck. And a Breath of the Wild liker? And a cactus owner? But it's that. It's this guy who's a fucking maniac, because Iren is a maniac, right? Iren tried to motherfucking. Iren is trying to, spoilers I guess, genocide the world. And so this dude being like, did I say that when I was an edgy kid? Maybe, but I forgot it. Don't say that. Just say this part right here. Don't tell me I don't remember what I said. Did I say that? That's worse. Alright, time for the second one. Yandere Dev wrote an erotic story about rape. In short, no I didn't. I once wrote a fanfic set in the Fallout universe, which contained slavery. The protagonist of the fanfic was a slave who was being sexually abused. The slave's owner was portrayed as being a nasty, evil, ugly person, and he died a gruesome, undignified death. The rape scenes were not meant to be erotic. They were meant to reflect the disgusting nature of sexual abuse, and also meant to vilify the slave's owner. I stopped writing the story in order to focus my time on Yandere Simulator. In case you're curious, the plot of the story was going to involve the slave becoming a vigilante that travels around the world, hunting and killing rapists and slave owners. Even though I wrote a story that vilifies rapists and was going to be about the genocide of rapists, people summarizing the story as Yandere Dev wrote an erotic rape story is as far as the truth from possible. I don't want to breach that. I don't want to poke at it. But I got my poking finger ready. I'm gonna poke at it. So it was the most generic slave owner dynamic ever. The owner was an ugly bastard who died brutally. You could have said I was an edgy teenager then too, because that's what edgy teenagers do to show rape is bad. They were not meant to be erotic, but there was multiple of them. You can still vilify and kind of whatever. It's not just an entire genre of hentai that's kind of about that or anything. And then it turned to an edgy rape revenge story. Wow, you fucking wrote a Serbian film. I'll turn this place into a scene out of a Serbian film. I am the violence. On the balustrades, my name is Kevin Steen, and fuck Yandere Dev. And it's just exactly what you think it is. Wow, that's so ungeneric. Good job, man. Yandere Dev portrayed himself as a cute, innocent girl in order to maintain sympathy. Wait a minute, are you telling me that Yandere Dev is famous YouTuber Necro13. Shout out to Necro13 for holding it down. If you know, you know. In short, no I didn't. This is about my hate and shame video, which features a female protagonist. The point of the video was to ask people to imagine themselves in my position. YouTube's analytics tells me most of my audience is female. I decided to make the protagonist of this video a female so that it would be easier for my audience to relate to her. At the end of the video, the girl's body splits apart and reveals me within her. This is to communicate to the audience that I experienced everything that the girl experienced in that video. This is not meant to be interpreted as a dramatic plot twist that the girl was yandere deaf all along, or anything else along those lines. So it was coming out as trans. Transrative? Yeah, yonder egg. That goes hard. He was literally coming out of a female, and now he's coming out as male. He came out as a female as male. So many levels. There's levels to this game, baby. But yeah, it was though. You can say it's not a debunk. You can't really debunk this because it's a matter of opinion. You might not think that. You might not think that it was that you might not think that it was meant to be this, but it was that. And it probably was meant to mean that because it wouldn't have been a twist. Showing a character turning into another character is called a twist. That's what a twist is. Yandere Dev portrays his critics as demons. Okay. Bruh. It's literally the same thing. In short, no I don't. In my hate and shame video, I was not describing critics. I was describing a group of people that stalk, dox, drop, shut it down, harass others for fun. I don't think that my stalkers, doxers, harassers should be treated with dignity, so I depicted them as gray-colored, inhuman creatures, and called them gremlins, because stalkers, doxers, harassers is way too many syllables. Around 11 minutes and 57 seconds into the video, I depicted the protagonist name and so, sure. Again, this narrative that people who are mean can't also be critics, I guess. And so because they're mean, they shouldn't be portrayed as humans, I guess. Because humans can't be bad. Yandere Dev spends all day reading emails instead of working on the game. In short, no I don't. In early 2016, I was receiving an overwhelming amount of email from very young children. The majority of these emails were very cringy and annoying. I wonder why children like this game. And why the emails they sent you were cringy and annoying. Could it be that your shitty game appeals to kids who just discovered anime? Yes. I didn't bother replying to them. I only used email to speak to my volunteers, have business discussion, and review bug reports. However, it was still irritating to see my inbox always filling up with cringy messages from little kids. Eventually, I tried to do something about it. I tried to convince all the young children to leave me alone by making a video depicting stupid emails as the worst threat to yandere simulars in development. Unfortunately, it didn't work. It only increased the number of dumb emails I was getting. It also caused a lot of people to develop the misconception that I spend every day doing nothing but replying to stupid messages. The last time I complained about emails was several years ago. I shouldn't dispel this out, but emails are not a problem for the game's development. Then why just say it? I tried to trick little kids, and I said the wrong thing. I tried to trick little kids and I said the wrong thing by accident. Maybe you shouldn't try to trick little kids, yeah? Maybe trying to trick little kids is a bit of the part of the problem here, yeah? maybe next time don't trick little kids. Yandere Dev is intentionally prolonging the game's development in order to make as much money as possible from Patreon. Yeah, that's a fact. You can't even debunk this one. In short, no, I'm not. I rarely mention my Patreon. Doesn't really matter how much you mention it, buddy, because either way, because either way, you're still making $300,000, 300,000, 3,000. Well, okay, upwards of $1,000, probably upwards of $2,000 USD per month. That's a lot of money. And I'm pretty sure his parents pay for his house too, so it's not like he's paying really rent or anything. He's not really paying rent, so it's, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's not like... Are those only tiers? What the fuck? That's some weird tier. Oh, you're not limited. Okay, of course. I didn't mention my Patreon video. I didn't mention my Patreon blog post. I implemented no links. Yep. If my intention was to milk the Patreon, wouldn't I be trying to draw more attention to it? I think most people are actually completely unaware that I even have a Patreon. Unlike how you can milk things like on the internet in different manners, people who go out of their way to find your Patreon link will find it and will probably keep giving you money. Shilling it kind of makes it in the face and kind of makes it obnoxious, but having it in the BG, having it be subtle, that'll get them. You don't have to. You're not begging for donations here. You're trying to kind of squeeze out some nice little. I don't know what that was. I have no idea what that was. If my intention was to make lots of money, I would not make a game with controversial content, promote my merchandise. Promote my merchandise, or to be selling the game as an early access title. Would you? You can't milk selling a game. That requires making a game. If the game has bad ratings, the game has bad ratings. I'm actually doing the direct opposite of all these things. I'm actually not greedy. It doesn't make sense that I'm intentionally prolonging the development. That's also probably true. He's just bad at what he does. Nothing would make me happier to see this project reach completion. However, I refuse to rush the project. That's because you can't. That's because you're bad. Because I don't want the quality of the game to suffer. Didn't you refuse to have a guy fix the fucking game for months because it would take attention away from you making shitty fucking updates? Like, I'm not reading this. This is fucking stupid. It's a DSP segment right here too. Not only am I not greedy, I'm the opposite of greedy. Yandere Simulator is way more ambitious and complex than the average indie game. It's also worse. The premise itself may seem very straightforward. Yeah, it's Hitman. But the number of features and depth of mechanics is comparable to that of an AAA open world sandbox titles. Yeah, but you don't do it well. It's unrealistic to expect a game like this to complete it in less than 6 years. Then maybe don't tell the dudes about it, but then again, I guess he needs money, sure, whatever. Simply due to how unusually large the scope of complexity is of the game. And it's mostly being developed by a single person. So what you're saying is that it's too ambitious for you to achieve within a lifetime, and by the time you do achieve it, it will likely never live up to the standards that you have said it should achieve, achieve? No sole developer has ever attempted to build a social stealth school simulation sandbox game before. That's because it's a bad idea. That's because it's a bad idea. The length of time it takes for you see, okay. I have been wait, what the fuck is this shit? Why is there a rhythm segment here? Drama, yeah, fucking rhythm rev, you piece of shit. That dude. All of the above factors, ambitious scope, slow developer burnout, character assassination, constant harassment, have slowed down the game's development. The burnout is my fault, but the game does lead much further into development if I wasn't for the constant slander and mistreatment. Okay. What Yanni is doing here, these might all be true. And perhaps they are all true. Like, these parts not. This part's dumb. This part's dumb. You can still milk it. He's still milking it. Like, you don't have to, like, milk it efficiently to milk something. You can milk a cow wrong and still get some milk out, though. That's how milking works. But even if this is all true, this is all just signs that you should kill your fucking baby. Because your baby who has been born with, like, a liquid spine. Your baby has been born with, like, a liquid spine and a missing, like, prefrontal cortex. Your baby will never be able to live normally. And will probably die within the first 3 months of, like, existence. And it will die slowly and painfully. Kind of depressing, I know, but, like, kill your fucking baby, dude. It's not gonna make it. It's just a bad choice to make it. Also, is liquid spine a thing? Liquid Richard, let's go. Yeah. Oh no, that's liquid. No wait, is it? Nah, it's not. It's not a thing. Yeah. But shouts to all my spinal fluids out there. But like, you have your baby's gonna be fucked anyways. Just kill it before it's too late. I'm just saying, it sounds like a bad sign. Yandere Dev defends pedophiles. Yandere Dev believes that pedophilia is a sexual orientation. Then why isn't the game on Twitch? In short, no I don't. Pedophilia is a disorder, it's a mental illness, it's a defect of the mind. Your brain isn't supposed to work that way. If you're a pedophile, it means something's broken inside your head. Personally, I don't feel comfortable ridiculing people who suffer from mental disorders. Nobody asks for mental illness. That's not true. A mental condition is something that happens to you without your consent. Nobody develops Alzheimer's disease on purpose. Nobody asks for schizophrenia. And likewise, I don't think anyone actually wants to be a pedophile. If you have dementia, you can't just snap your fingers and get rid of it. Likewise, if you have pedophilia, you're stuck that way, and you are forced to live with it forever. If you're attracted to redheads, that's harmless, as long as you never kidnap a redhead. If you fantasize about robbing banks, that's harmless, as long as you never rob an actual bank. If you are forced to have sexual thoughts about children because you are afflicted with mental illness that you never asked for, that sucks. It's going to interfere with your ability to have a normal life, and it might cause you to feel so much shame that you actually eventually commit suicide. But obviously, it's absolutely no excuse for you to actually touch a kid. I gotta find my flow again. I've lost my flow. No adult has ever had an excuse to do anything sexual with a child. As soon as you touch a kid, you have crossed the line from being someone with a mental disorder to being the worst scum imaginable. Having a mental illness is involuntary, but touching a kid is a choice. If you have a mental illness, I feel bad for you. If you violate a child, I feel disgust and contempt for you, and I think you deserve the death penalty. Again, this is something I don't really want to breach. Because if I ever get known in like a couple of years for some stupid reason, and someone like clips this or finds this, because I don't hide my shit, I'm gonna be like, okay, listen, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to say, in short, no, I didn't. But it's like to go on about this, it's mental illness shit, and nobody asks for it, and people like suffer from it, right? Nobody does it on purpose. It's a bit dodgy because people who have like dementia, or like swearing, right? If you consider like swearing in church a sin, or taking God's name in vain as a thing, whatever you have a mental illness that makes you do that, does that make you guilty of that sin? It's a bit dodgy, is all I'm trying to say. I guess it's kind of, the analogy kind of gets lost when you say, if you have a mental illness, that's bad. But if that mental illness makes you do a thing, that's your choice and it's your fault for being wrong. Like, maybe they're just bad people, dude. I don't know what you're trying to do with this whole like spiel here. It didn't really work. It kind of fell flat on its face. Because I have stated that there is a distinction between pedophiles and child molesters, there are people who have somehow developed this impression that I advocate for the normalization of pedophilia, or that I'm trying to defend child molesters, even though that's literally the exact opposite of everything I just said. Yeah, just now when you were in a controlled environment, okay? It boggles my mind. I once had a conversation where I compared pedophilia to sexual orientation. I made this comparison to communicate the fact that you can't snap your fingers and remove a mental illness in the same way you can't snap your fingers and change your sexual orientation. That's debatable. Obviously, I was never attempting to state that pedophilia is a valid sexual orientation, but unfortunately, numerous people insist on spreading this false narrative anyway. So I said this thing because I'm dumb and I didn't actually mean it, because that just makes it sound bad too, because you're comparing the thing where I compared pedophilia to sexual orientation, and people who are pedophiles are like people who are straight, in that they can't just change it on a whim. You compared it, and you compare it to mental illness too, and it's like, if you act upon it, it's not making him sound like he's actually defending pedophilia. It just makes him sound really stupid and like he's trying really hard to make a certain point. Which I guess I would do that too if someone's like, you're a pedophile, because no one wants to be a pedophile, unless you are weird. Yandere Dev wants to abolish the age of consent and replace it with a sex license. Oi mate, you got a license for that sex. In short, no I don't. One day in 2014 I received a hate mail, from somebody who was offended by Yandere Simulator. It was actually the very first time someone had ever sent me hate mail about Yandere Sim. Because I felt attacked, I started arguing with the person who sent the hate mail. They said, your game is creepy. I responded because with the age of consent is different in every country. So does that mean the game is only creepy in some countries? The reason why I responded this way was because I wanted to feel like I was slapping with a witty comeback. I wanted to be a contrarian to them purely for the sake of being a contrarian. I was pursuing the sensation of, haha, got him. They must feel really stupid right now to cope with the fact that I have received hate mail. I wanted to feel like I had defeated the person who sent the hate mail. They had a rebuttal, so I responded with a rebuttal of my own. You can't rebuke a rebuke. You can't rebuke a rebuke. That's not how that works. I focused exclusively on trying to contradict everything they said. Eventually, they started talking about pedophilia in order to continue the pursuing cessation of, haha, I slapped them with an epic comeback. This makes me sound like a fucking idiot. I had to start contradicting whatever they said about pedophiles, which led me to making a series of statements that looked like I was defending pedophiles. You probably just were by accident. That's like saying, which led me to saying a bunch of racist stuff. You were just saying racist stuff, or like saying a bunch of stuff that looked racist. It just looked like I was calling a bunch of black people the N-word, or calling a bunch of Asian people holes in plate armor. If you know what I mean. You were actually just kind of doing that. But you didn't mean it, I guess. For example, if they said pedophiles are evil, I would respond by saying pedophilia is involuntary. just like a mental stop going back to this illness or orientation because I only care about one thing, contradicting everything they said in order to feel like I had won the argument. He was part of gang weed, straight up. Eventually, the conversation somehow turned to the topic of abolishing the age of consent. This was the first time in the conversation that I actually felt like we had arrived at an intellectually engaging subject. Some people mentally develop at different speeds than other people. This means that one age of consent doesn't work for everybody. For example, some people might be mentally developed enough to have sex at age 18, but other people might not be mentally developed enough to make that decision until 19 or 20. For this reason, the concept of age of consent is slightly flawed. It was raising an interesting hypothetical thought experiment, so I actually put a bit of thought into it. If the age of consent had to be replaced with something else, what would it be replaced with? Instead of something an arbitrary number that permits people to have sex, what else could you do? Well, it's not. It's probably different somewhere everywhere else in the world, but I'm pretty sure if like two 15-year-olds have sex, it's not a crime. Or if it is a crime, it's not one they get charged with because they're both 15. But I could be wrong. So what else could you do? Also, age is just a number. He's just saying that right there. He's just saying that right there. I mean, like, this is not the time for it, I guess. Well, it would be convenient if there was a machine that you could place on your head that would scan your brain and determine your current level of mental development. If this machine was 100% accurate, then it would be able to objectively determine whether or not this person is ready for sex. The way I phrase this is really stupid. The way you phrase the above sentence was really stupid, bro. I said something like, what if there was a sex test, and if you pass it, you get a sex license? Wouldn't that be better than having an age of consent? This was a really stupid explanation because I completely left out all the nuance of what I was actually trying to say. The nuance of the sexing machine? There's no nuance. You just said something. It's just a dumb idea. Because, okay, the number of years people spend in a society and what they do, what they are expected and tend to do during those years, right? Because it's not just a number. It's a number that represents a number that represents time, that represents life experience. If you get a bit wiser every month, after 18 years, you're pretty fucking wise, right? If you get like a 0.1% buff to wiseness every month, right, for a couple of years, eventually you get like a 50% buff. You're going pretty good. You're going pretty okay if that 0.1%. You're going pretty hard actually. That's why you min-max, buddy. He wasn't thinking about the min-max like a dumbass. Think about the min-max, bro. I'm just saying. Also, even if the number is arbitrary, the sex maturity machine is somehow the better solution. Also, I'm just gonna say right here, hit him with the Sargon. Let's go. And shout to Jack Saint for holding it down. Uh, wait, what the fuck? Okay, sure, but yeah, hit him with the Carl Benjamin. Hit him with the. Can I show his face on stream? Probably not. I'm probably gonna get arrested. But put him in the suit though. Put him in the suit. Hit him with the Sargon suit. You know what's going on. Hit him with the Count Dankula suit. Shout out my boy Count Dankula. He's not cool on Twitter. I don't like him, but he's probably not an actual asshole. I guess I'll give him that. I would have a beer with this guy, but I don't drink beer. Beer sucks. Beer's gross. I would talk to this dude and I'd have a piss with him, but I wouldn't like discuss things with him beyond just having a piss. Shout out to Punter Sargon. Shout out to the ill-fitting suit for holding it down. Shout out to the ill-fitting suit. He's nothing but a white what? What kind of white person is he? Is he Sargon? He's a white he's a white he's a oh god, it's right there. Okay, he's a okay. I'm not gonna. God damn, you can see it. Fuck, I'm sorry. This is my fault. It's over. It's over, boys. Sorry, I'm gonna download this video as soon as it's done. Fuck, I fucked up. I went down. I went too deep. I exposed myself too early. It's over. I'm fucking dead. Uh, this toxic dude. Shout out to, but shout out to my other favorite Brit. Uh, 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 Dr. Ashens. Is this Dr. Ashens? Yeah. Shout out to my boy Stuart Ashton for holding it down. Yo, let's do in the hat. Yo, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Both Dr. Ashens. Yeah, shout out to Mitski. I don't know his name, but that guy. Shout out to my boy Dr. Ashens for holding it down. You know what's going on. You know what's going on. Yeah, you with that Ashens boy. You with that you with that Chef Excellence. Yeah, you know about that. You know about that Ashens boy. That Ashen boy. You know about that Ashens. If you don't rock with Ashens, I will fucking beat the fuck out of you. Real talk. This isn't like if I'm stronger than you. This isn't if I'm more skilled than you. This is I will. This is a flat out statement. It's not dependent. It's not a it's I was gonna say is that Mudahar because I'm a fucking racist. This isn't like a variable. I will inevitably beat the shit out of you. Subscribe to Ashens. He's cool. He's a nice guy. And my other favorite Englishman? No, British people. No, they're not British because Brexit. My favorite Irishman. Not Page. Uh, these lads. Where the fuck is Jay? No, there's Jay. He just looks tan. He looks really tan. It's a very oversaturated pick. Shout out to these lads. Also, shout out to Matthew for holding it down. Shout out to Jay looking. He's always like greasy. Shout outs. Shouts to. I'm feeling like that's a bit of the OOC. No, that's OOC and that's V1. That's Jai Hunter. Yeah, you can see there's V1 and there's Mr. OOC. Wait, did I get it right? Fuck, I don't think I did. Shit, it's over. I lost. I lost it. I quit. I fucking lost. You see, that's how you bounce back from showing the word on screen and showing Sargon on screen for a long time. But yeah, the person who I was arguing with was mortified and asked, "What if a 14-year-old passed the test? Would you permit them to have sex?" It was an invalid question because no 14-year-old could possibly mentally develop fast enough to pass the brain scan test. It would simply never happen. But because I was in contrarian mode, and I wanted to contradict everything they said, I simply responded yes. If the test is designed to prove something objectively true, then it must objectively be true. Which has created a false narrative that I think 14-year-olds should be allowed to have sex. No, it's literally what you said, bruh. He's just doing the thing. He's just doing the thing he said was bad. That just having a flat number doesn't make sense. But he's straight up saying that having a flat number of age that somebody couldn't possibly be sexually mature enough is a thing. T-pose. Let's go. A-pose. Wait, the Y-pose. A-pose. Okay, we're done. But what if they do? They can't do it. But what if they do? What if man makes it to the moon? They can't do that. But what if they do? They can't do that. What if the Beatles play a sold out arena? They can't do that. But what if they do? They can't. But what if they do? They can't do that. What if Kurt Cobain kills himself? Hey, bars. He wouldn't do that. What if he does? He can't. What if Cher had 2 sons? She wouldn't do that. But what if she did? She wouldn't. Well, then you're just bullshitting here. You made this be all end all solution that doesn't work for scenarios that might make you uncomfortable because you want to bullshit. Sure, okay, cool. In short, everything I said during that argument was said purely to be contrarian and contradictory to my opponent so I can feel like I was winning the argument. I don't stand by these statements because they are as meaningless as any other statement you might make in a moment of anger when you're in a heated debate with somebody. So when you're not thinking, just say you weren't thinking. After hearing this, my opponent expressed an intention to screenshot the emails we'd exchanged and post screenshots publicly in order to expose me as an evil pedophile. As soon as I was aware this person was planning to spread bizarre propaganda, I guess, and smear my name, I wrote a preemptive response where I summarized the entire situation so they couldn't create a false narrative about me. Unfortunately, ill-meaning individuals cropped my post to create a false narrative that I want to abolish age of consent and replace it with sex licenses. Please don't be gullible enough to be fooled by trolls who take my words out of context in an attempt to commit character assassination. Even in context, it's fucking stupid. If you take it in full context, it's literally what I said. I didn't say that. I ain't say that. I know I said that. I ain't say that though. Like, yeah, I said that, but I ain't say that though. So don't mean anything. Like, which is that you mean bullshit? What I meant was bullshit. That's called bullshitting. You bullshitted? That's bullshit. Okay. All right, we can wrap this up. We can finish this. No, we can't. Taking a sip. Yandere Dev lies about his frame rate. In short, no, I don't. Recently, I stated that I never see my frame rate drop below 30 FPS when I play Yandere Simulator. Somebody looked through all my YouTube videos and found the moment where my FPS was less than 30, and accused me of lying about my frame rate. However, there is a lot of information they weren't aware of. Whenever I record footage in a YouTube video, I record the footage inside my Unity editor. The Unity editor has a lower frame rate than the exported build. The frame rate is actually about 15 FPS lower when playing a game inside the Unity editor. When I play the game in exported build, the frame rate never goes below 30 FPS. That's the only time when the frame rate actually matters, since that's the frame rate that other players will see when they play the game. In short, bro, you just said it in short twice. It's not even short. The frame rate that I get when I'm playing the game within the Unity editor is irrelevant, and the only frame rate matters is the one I get when I play the exported build of the game, which is 30 to 60 FPS depending on exact circumstances. The person accuses me of lying and spreading misinformation, and it's depressing that people out there take him seriously. But it's not misinformation. It's info you didn't clarify because you weren't thinking, I guess? Or you didn't explain well. You said it doesn't go below 30 FPS, and you showed a moment when it did. You can just say this part right here. There you go. That's the statement. You don't need some motherfucker said some shit, and in short again, and it doesn't matter, and this person is lying and spreading misinformation, and they shouldn't take them seriously because they were right, but they were right in a different way. Yandere Dev refuses to accept programming systems. Can I read this? Should I read this? No, because literally he said that I don't care, it's boring. He literally said that the game shouldn't be. Those got leaked, huh? Yeah, I think so. But he literally said, no, fuck, I'm not reading that. Yandere Dev have he attacked the developer of Way to the Woods and Way to the Woods? Oh yeah, did that come out yet? I actually don't know. Because I saw that at the the E3 thing. Is it out? Is it out? Oh, it's not. Oh. I mean, eventually it'll come out, I guess. I legit forgot about that game. Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Microsoft Windows, Xbox One. Is it just not out? Is it just like... Was it an actual scam? Was it an... Can I get a date? So I guess it just doesn't exist, huh? It's just not out, huh? It's just non-existent. It doesn't. The game isn't. The game's fictional. It's a fictional video game. Imagine that. Imagine the game you're surprised by. You're like you want to see is the one that doesn't fucking exist. It's literally a fictional game. It's not real. It's not real. Sure, great. You love to see it. You'll wait. There's PC reviews? No, there's nothing. Wait, is there? No, there's nothing. It doesn't exist. It's not real. Great, thank you. During E3, no, people have a difficulty pronouncing the word yandere. The most common pronunciation is yondeer, leading many to refer to the sim as Yondeer Simulator. During E3 2019, a game was shown for a beautiful game called Way to the Woods about a deer and a fawn. Seeing a game about a playable deer made me think the words Deer Simulator, which is reminding me of the times I've heard Yandere Sim called Yondeer Simulator. I decided to tweet a screenshot of Way to the Woods with the caption Deer Simulator in a Yandere Sim font, knowing that longtime Yandere Sim fans would get the joke. A lot of people responded positively to the tweet, but unfortunately, there were also people who mistakenly believed that my tweet was an attempt to throw shade at the developer of the game. This was completely baffling to me, considering that there was a ill nature about the tweet. It was a pun, an especially silly pun, on par with a dad joke. I know firsthand how difficult and how time consuming it is to never hop on Twitter to purely fire attacks at the developers. It doesn't make sense to assume that my tweet was malicious. This was completely pretty ridiculous, and it was one of the best examples of the anti-yandere dev crowd will freak out about anything and absolutely anything I do or say, no matter how harmless it is. So it was a bit of a nothing burger, yeah? Yandere dev attacks, bans people, and blocks when they post an image he's insecure about. What's the image? 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 People get banned or blocked, but not for the reason you think. If someone is being a towards the mature and intelligent, he's DSPing right now. He's fucking DSPing. It's to block them and move on with your day. What's this about then? You're not moving on with your day. You wrote a page about them, bro. If you walk into the bank and you immediately announce your intention is to rob it, are they trying to rob you, bro? You'll be tackled to the ground by security guards pretty fast. It's important to. What's the image? Is it the and the is it? Oh, you probably won't get what I want, but you might. Is it that picture? Is that the one? Will they look at that one and say that's the one? Will they say that picture? I bet they'll say that picture. I bet they'll say that picture is the one, huh? And that picture. Nah, probably not that one. But that picture and that picture, is that the picture? Shout out to Puff Puff for holding it down. Are they talking about that picture? I bet they are. Shout out to. Wait, why is there so many of this dude? What the fuck? There's so many versions. No, I want more of this dude. Yo, who's this one? There's some pretty hot ones here. I can't even tell if they're different anymore. Is that the rap critic? Is that the rap critic? Shout out to rap critic for holding it down. No, hold on. Oh no, it's not. It's you. It's rap critic. There he is. Shout out to rap critic for holding it down. Alright, I'm done here. I had my fun. Yandere told somebody to kill himself live on stream. In short, this actually did happen. Okay. I didn't actually know this one. So I think it's at face value. But there is a context you should probably you're probably unaware of. First, it's extremely important to acknowledge that there is a massive difference between sincerely telling someone to commit suicide and simply saying a rude phrase in a brief moment of anger. These two things are not remotely comparable. In order to understand what happened, you need to remember that I say at the top of this page, a group of people spent more than a year harassing me on a daily basis. You really need to keep this in mind. It's extremely important. I'm a victim. It's extremely important. Being subjected to that much abuse had an extremely negative impact on my mental health. One time I was streaming a video game. Someone came into my stream and started harassing me. I figured that was one of the trolls who'd been tormenting me for more than a year. After more than a year of daily harassment, I was fed up with being abused and mistreated. In a spontaneous moment of anger, I said, "Kill yourself!" to the troll. I only said, "Kill yourself!" once in my entire life. That's cap. I am not the sort of guy that usually says this sort of thing. However, if you torment, abuse, and mistreat them for long enough, you will eventually break that person and cause them to say things they wouldn't normally say. I later learned that the person I said kill yourself to was actually a fan of Yandere Simulator who was inadvertently being annoying and obnoxious. I accidentally mistaken them for one of the trolls who had been harassing me. I actually said kill yourself to an innocent person. If that person had not have ever contacted me, I would apologize to them. However, the fact remains that this situation would never have occurred if I wasn't a victim for a year. Why is he always yelling? Why is Yandere Dev always yelling at the wrong dude? Like the girl who was being not suicidal girl, but where were they? 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 This one harassed a fan. She was literally just a fan. It was the wrong person, or at least she wasn't a fan. She wasn't like a troll. Yandere Dev put a racist Easter egg into Yandere Simulator. In short, no, that's ridiculous. On the internet, everything gets drawn everything gets drawn as an anime girl. The planet Earth has been drawn as an anime girl. Dish soap has been drawn as an anime girl. The Ebola virus has been drawn as an anime girl. No matter what, the ultimate fate of anything is to be drawn as an anime girl. Predictably, the Corona-19 virus has been drawn as an anime girl. Just like everything else, she is named Corona-chan because the virus was first identified in China. Corona-chan is wearing a traditional Chinese dress called a cheongsam, also known as a kipao. I hope I didn't say that racistly. I imagine you would say like a cheongsam and a kipao. Like you say it fast because it's Chinese. Chinese is a fast language. It's a lot of syllables in a short amount of time. I would die. I would get shot there. I'd say something wrong entirely. I can't speak fast. How would I speak fast? There's a massive difference between a racist character designed to ridicule and degrade Chinese people and a cute anime girl designed to personify a virus. Equating these two things with another is completely stupid. Additionally, Corona Chan is picked as a cute or sexy. It should be obvious that she is in no way meant to ridicule or degrade an ethnic group. Saying that Corona Chan is insulting Chinese people because she's wearing a Chinese dress that is as stupid as saying Corona Chan is insulting the beer because she's often depicted holding a bottle of Corona extra beer. I put the front end. It's on in their Easter egg and not simply because I love the design, not because I think it's a funny way to ridicule Chinese people. If anything, it's an indication of Chinese. I think Chinese just look amazing. I put the Corona Chan Easter egg into Yandere Simulator because I love her design, not because I think it's a funny way to ridicule Chinese people. If anything, it's an indication that I think Chinese dresses look amazing. I did not say "Hola, mi amigos" because I wanted to mock Spanish speaking people. If anything, it's an indicator as to how much I love Latinas and I want to treat them special. That's what he's saying. I'm not racist because I'm attracted to this thing. Man, the porn industry has a lot of secrets for you, buddy. What's next? Will I be accused of being racist if I play chess and use white pieces? The Yandere dev put a racist Easter egg in Yandere Simulator controversy proves that the anti-Yandere dev crowd chooses extremely trivial and petty matters to ridicule me for. So, okay. This is demonizing. It is. It's demonizing them as being a fucking brainless mass of people and just a bunch of people. You can't name names, you can't call people out, you're just saying the anti-Yandere dev crowd. It's like saying my detractors or my haters. It's the detractors and the trolls and the haters, right? It's the it's giving a name and a singular hive mind identity to your people who dislike you in order to make you seem like a good guy and them like bad guys. It's not efficient and it's very obvious cult-like behavior. They're not doubters, or if they are doubters, doubters is given a dirty is like given like an extra dirty connotation. They're heathens or some shit like that, or sinners, right? If you don't like my cult, you're a fucking sinner, baby. This whole situation is stupid, and it's not like also insulting to beer is. I mean, listen, Yandere Dev, you probably shouldn't compare Chinese people to a bottle of beer. That's maybe not. Sometimes you don't need to compare things. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have to compare everything. You don't have to have a bunch of metaphors and similes everywhere every time. You don't have to. You can just say things like this is stupid. Yandere Dev used the Patreon money to purchase the sex doll. Yes. Or if anything, the Patreon money recouped the sex doll. Because his income literally came from Patreon. His income's been coming from Patreon for a long time now. In short, no, I didn't. Oh, sorry, never mind. Never mind. Okay, I was wrong. But if there was a wait, okay, hold on. Oh, just in general, not sex doll, just anything. Okay, sure. In 2014, when I was a freelance programmer doing short contract jobs for money, I started developing Yawn Racing as a hobby. When Yawn Sim started getting popular, people started begging me to give them a way to donate to me. Please, Phil, please start a Patreon, Phil. We want to donate to you. I said if I can at least earn $1,000 per month on Patreon, I will make Yawn Racing my first time job. I was able to reach that goal. However, 1K a month is a very small amount of money. It simply wasn't sustainable. You don't pay for your house, you don't pay your rent. I kept my promise and turned Yonsem to a full-time job, but I made it clear that $1,000 per month did not qualify as a living wage and hoped to. So you begged? That sounds like you making a bad decision. That sounds like you being dumb and saying, I need more money because I was dumb, but sure. And 2 months later, I reached my goal, but I didn't need any more money of that. More money than that. So once I started earning beyond $300,000 per month, or $35,000 a month, whatever, fuck it, $3,500 per month, I started putting the surplus money towards Yandere Sim. I stated this extremely clearly in the goals section of my page. What's a link? Nice. I logged all the money I earned and how I spent it in a series of transparency posts. You could have lied. In short, I capped my salary at $3,500, and I only allowed a limited amount of money to go myself. And I have always put all the rest of the money towards Yandere Sim. If we divide my money into categories, it looks like this: one, money I saved from before I started working on Yandere Sim; two, money I earned through Patreon as payment for working on Yandere Sim; three, money that is reserved exclusively for Yandere Sim. Whenever I make a personal purchase, it comes from my personal savings, not the Yandere Sim budget. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have this thing in human society. It's called a fucking lie. Anyone can tell a fucking lie. It's not difficult to tell a fucking lie. It's actually, quite frankly, very easy. If you want to tell a fucking lie, you can just tell a fucking lie. You can put a lot of effort into telling a fucking lie, but it's not hard to tell a fucking lie. That's how fucking lying works. Fucking lying. It's silly to. This is part of the cult thing, which is basically just believe me because I'm telling it to you. That's literally it. Believe me because I'm saying it. Why don't we believe you because it's truth? You don't have any like. Yeah, there are transparency posts, but they literally come from you. And if anything, you could just make these up. Like, okay, let's look at this for a second. We can look at this. This is the post. They show the money he made and what he spent. That's all well and good. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You can lie. You can write a lot of bullshit and lie. I'm sure he's being possibly honest, but he could just not be. And at the end of the day, it's like. I mean, I don't want to be doubtful because I'm just an asshole. That's not my thing. I like giving people the benefit of the doubt, but I think when you have to write this much shit to say, I didn't spend money I got on this, like. Does he have an account called Yandere Some Money? No, I bet it doesn't. I bet it's all just a savings account or a checkings account. I'm sure he budgets, but he could just lie about where the money goes. That's how lying works. Yandere Devo's tiny build money in short. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. First, let it be known that I do not intend to say anything negative about Tiny Build, and nothing below is intended to be interpreted negatively. Tiny Build and I decided to part ways in December of 2017. On March 21st of 2019, we signed a termination agreement that dissolved our original contract. The reason why it took so long to sign the agreement was because I wanted to negotiate some of the terms. There are people who believe erroneously that I signed up on an agreement which would put me in debt to Tiny Build. That is not true. The final draft of the agreement did not include a debt to Tiny Build. In my final email to Tiny Build, I stated that I had no agreements with them. In Tiny Build's final email to me, they wished me good luck on my project. We parted on amicable terms. That could be a fucking lie. That's how fucking lies work. You can just lie to people and they won't know any better because they're being lied to. This isn't a debunk. This is just you saying it didn't happen. This is literally DSP. He's DSP. This whole thing is him just DSPing for a lot of it. It's either him just saying no, it didn't happen. It's literally him saying no, it didn't happen, or pointing to evidence that was created by him in most cases, or it's just him talking about petty drama that is probably dead by now. And since you know a lot of your people who like you and hate you are fucking kids who are kind of dumb, maybe they're just kids. Yandere Dev waste time arguing with people on 4chan. In short, actually, I've been physically incapable of posting on 4chan for several years. Even if I wanted to, I can't. When I moved into my new home, my new house, I started getting this error every time I'm trying to make a post on 4chan. It wasn't right after the website administrator got a new administrator. Around that point in time, a lot of people were suddenly IP range banned. Some people theorized that Hero banned a bunch of IP ranges as a method of reducing server costs. I don't know if there is any truth to that theory. Regardless, I'm incapable of posting on 4chan, even if I wanted to. Do VPNs not work that way? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe they don't. Yandere Dev kills Midori because he hates his own fans. And Midori represents his fans. No, Midori isn't a dead seeker who asks silly questions with obvious answers. If anything, Midori represents the kind of person who doesn't read a fact before asking a question, frustrating the people around her. Midori does not represent the audience. At some point in time, it became a running gag for me to kill Midori in my intros. This is a comedy slapstick. It has nothing to do with how I feel towards my audience. This is a fucking joke? Why did you... If anything, Midori represents the kind of person who doesn't read an FAQ. Read, not an FAQ, the FAQ before asking a question. Frustrating the people around her. You mean like audience members who maybe don't like read the FAQ? Which FAQ? The school FAQ? I guess like the textbook? I don't know, but that's not... He didn't say the textbook, he said the FAQ. Yandere Dev submitted false copyright strike to take down a critic's videos. In short, no, I have never done that and would never do that. If someone re-uploads your content to their channel without making any edit whatsoever, they have violated your copyright and you have a legal right to submit a DMCA takedown request to have the infringing content removed. A YouTuber re-uploaded some of my content with no commentary, additions, or transformations that would make the re-uploads fall under fair use. Anytime anyone ever re-uploads my content without making some kind of edit, I submit a copyright complaint to Google because that's what the copyright complaint system is actually supposed to be used for. If someone was re-uploading your content without making any changes, you'd commit a DMCA takedown too. Wouldn't you? No, I probably wouldn't, because if someone re-uploaded my content, I'd be pretty proud actually. Please re-upload my content. Don't even credit me. I'll just be that guy who made it, and I'll be like, yeah, that was my content. It's pretty cool, isn't it? But then again, I'm not popular. I don't do stuff, so whatever. I mean, it's a pretty like shitty comparison because it's like if it's not like if you were making content, it's like if you were me basically. However, clickbait drama YouTubers falsely reported the story of Yandere Dev illegally copyright claimed the critic to silence him, even though it wasn't true. It was an entertaining concept, so that's the narrative people chose to spread. Someone recreated Yandere Simulator in less than 2 weeks. I'm not reading that because I actually know the story. No, they didn't. They basically they flipped that shit like a sample. Basically, they took the game, they took the entire pre-established system, added shit in, uh, made a character different, and did that in 2 weeks. Then 2 months later, there was very little progress on the game, and then like a day after those 2 months, the game is like fucking dead because the guy who was working on it was sexting like a 15-year-old, I think, or he was sexting a 10-year-old when he was like 15, I think, which is still kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. The entire team kind of fell apart. Did he mention that? Nah, he didn't. He didn't mention that at all. But they were close. I mean, like, I'll be honest with you. The anti-Yandere dev crowd, let's call them that, They're pretty fucking stupid because they care a lot about Yandere Dev and Yandere Sim, which is a bad way to go about life, mate, isn't it? Real bad. It's not even funny, really. It's just kind of shitty. But it is what it is. The guy who was running it ran another project for that also failed. I think he possibly doxed somebody in the team. The team was ran by a guy who was like sexually harassing female members of the team because he was a creep. He kept him on. It was just it's video game dev drama. It's what happens every single time a video is in development. There's drama around it. It's people being weird and sexual, and it is what it is. I guess you can't change who you are. That's what happens when you're a weirdo on the internet. My eyes are just super unfocused right now. I'm just staring at my thermometer. I'm just looking at it. It's not worth thinking about. I have a point I want to make, which is that the guy who was running it, I'm gonna call him a kid, even though he's like my age. He was like a kid. He wasn't very mentally stable because I. And this isn't me like trying to make a crack at like having like being non-cisgender or whatever. It's more like he like changed his gender like I think literally and sexuality like 3 times during that month, which might not be a bad thing overall in a short period of time. But I think if you're again relatively young, like my age, and you're working on a project and you feel like your identity is changing that rapidly, you have issues with yourself that you have to figure out because you're not mentally. That's not. You're not emotionally stable. You're not mentally stable either. You're in a time of change, and trying to head a project while going through such internal trouble like that. That's not how you run a project. That's not a leader right there. But I am not reading that because that's bullshit. I don't care. Yandere Dev threatened to commit suicide to pressure a game developer to cancel his game project. Literally, yes. I forgot what his name was. Fuck. I don't care. In short, no, I didn't. Somebody extracted Yandere Slinger's assets and used those assets to develop a simple game prototype. They created an announcement trailer showing off what they had done, despite the fact that their prototype only contains a fraction of the functionality of Yandere Simulator. Their announcement trailer gave hundreds of people the false impression that it was possible to recreate the entirety of Yandere Simulator in 2 weeks. These are different games, I should say. This happened twice within the same like year or so, less than. The only reason their prototype got even remotely presentable was because they simply copy pasted all the assets that were created for me over the course of 6 years. Not store bought assets, but Yandere Simulator's original copyrighted assets. They're not copyrighted. Fuck you. I think that's actually true. They're not like copyrighted, but okay. They created nothing original and simply stole all of my material. It's all the most blatant theft I've ever seen in the history of the game industry. You're not in the industry, you're an indie developer. That's why you're an indie. You're not even an indie developer, there's no game. And that upper register of my voice is gone now. I can't go back to it. Because hundreds of thousands of people are tricked into believing that it's possible to recreate Young in 2 weeks, my work has been completely devalued. There's no value in the first place. Fuck you. I have begun to receive a massive amount of harassment. Haven't you always been doing that? And I have started to lose all the support that I have spent 6 years building up because you have nothing to show for it. If it's that easy for people to like be tricked by some dude on the internet after 6 years, it's probably because you're not managing your fucking community well, which is a bigger issue. This is not a case of another developer picking a superior game, but it is a case of a con artist pulling a scam that is tricking hundreds of thousands of people into hating me. If it was truly a fan project and the developer was truly a fan of Yandere simulators, then he would acknowledge the damage he was doing to me and my project, and he would want to take action to avoid threatening Yandere simulators in existence. I reached out to discuss with him. During the discussion, I expressed my feelings honestly. I told him that I felt his project was ruining my life, destroying my life, ending my life. He posted screenshots of our discussion. People use those screenshots to create an untrue accusation that I contacted him to threaten suicide, even though I never actually said that. What the actual fuck? I want you to know that I think your fan project is ruining my life. It's destroying my life. It's ending my life. If someone tells you that you're doing something that's ending your life, that's suicide ideation. That's you saying somebody is doing something to you that's gonna make you that's actively harming you and your life. Not just your internet presence, but your life. Right? And when someone says that their life has been ruined, usually people whose lives have been ruined, you know what usually happens after that? If they're not alive after that point? A bit of the old suicide, yeah? This is a screenshot that people will use in order to push this false narrative. There is not a single sentence here where I threaten suicide. It simply doesn't happen. In case you need in case you need to spell it out for you, the meaning of the last sentence is if Yandere Simulator would ruin someone's life and end their career, I would cancel Yandere Simulator. If Yandere Simulator would ruin slash destroy someone's life and end their career, I would simply cancel Yandere Sim. The actual drama started a week ago, but I don't feel like talking about that. If you are aware that your project is having so many destructive consequences on another person's life, how can you possibly continue? Don't you see how harmful and damaging this is for me? If the cost of Yandere Simulator was ending a person's life, I'd cancel development. Okay, real talk. This is fucking gross. I actually mean that one. I forgot about this one, but I remember the way I felt, but not what he said. He didn't say I'm gonna kill myself, but he did say that he compared Yandere Simulator to the other game, and he's basically implying that this other dude's game is ending his life, and that he should cancel development because, or that he should feel like he should have to cancel development because it's ending Yandere Dev's life. He's trying to guilt trip him, and it's very obvious. And again, the meaning of the last sentence is this. That might be the meaning. That's not what you said. Okay, listen, okay. Abraham Lincoln said, not American, fuck you. Abraham Lincoln said 7 years ago. What he actually meant is like fucking 47 years ago? Uh, no, not that one. Uh, fuck. How long is the score? You know what I'm saying, but listen, okay. A score is 20 years, right? 100 or so years ago, 87 years, right? 87 years. He said 7 years ago, and in case to spell it out for you, four score means 80 years ago, right? That's the meaning of the sentence. But it's not what he said. He said four score. When you say something that isn't clear and it involves the idea of someone's life being ended or ruined or harmed by something that someone else is making and said, if you do this, if you continue doing this, you're ending my life. That implies that he's ending your life, you motherfucker. Stop trying. The fact that he's trying to make himself into a victim again, it's just all being a victim here. It's kind of gross. Yandere Dev threatened a competitor to stop developing his game. In short, no, I didn't. This is an event that occurred in 2019. To save this developer from too much humiliation, I don't want to say his name. A developer started uploading YouTube videos of a game that was developing, supposedly. A lot of people felt justified in harassing me or dropping their support from me because they were tricked into believing that this developer was creating a superior game, and he was doing it faster than me. However, He was not actually developing a real game. He was just creating footage for YouTube to give the impression that the game was in development. He was a con man, a scam artist. I'm from his former partner said who abandoned his project when he realized he was simply using the entire to make a legitimate game. Because his fake game project was having a lot of negative consequences for my real game project, I confronted him and told him he should stop being dishonest and confess the truth. I explained that if he kept tricking people into believing the game was being suppressed by a new game project, I would eventually have to make a video defending my project by explaining the truth. That this game was actually not a real game at all, but an illusion created for the sake of YouTube videos. This was not a threat, but a simple, factual state of affairs. Later, in 2020, another developer, who was also a con man for completely different reasons, showed screenshots with my conversation of the 2019 developer and spread the false narrative that I threatened a competitor into ceasing his development, even though all I was doing was telling a con man to stop scamming people. You could just say you threatened a con man. Like, that's a threat. That's like a. That's a threat. That's a. He might be a scammer, but like, I confronted him and told him that he should stop being dishonest and confess the truth. I explained that if he kept tricking people into believing that Yandere Simulator was being surpassed by a new game project, I would eventually have to make a video defending my project by explaining the truth. That his game was actually not a real game at all, but it was an illusion. That's a threat. I'm going to out you if you don't stop. That's a threat. What's wrong with threatening a con man? We just be Kit Boga. It's alright. Just be Kit Boga. You can just be Kit Boga, bro. No one's gonna threatening a con man. Just say it. Like, stop trying to be like such a good guy here, man. And make everyone seem like a fucking absolute rube. Jesus, man. Christ. Yandere Dev doesn't think games improve criticism. I never said that. This is a perfect example of how people spread out of context screenshots and misinformation. On the Yandere Simulator Discord, I was involved into a conversation with several other people. Somebody made a false statement and I responded with, I don't agree with that. In the time it took me to type this message, someone typed, criticism is how a game improves, and sent a message for mine. My message showed directly under the message. Someone took a screenshot, cropped the message I was actually responding to, and begun spreading the false narrative that I don't think games improve from criticism. This is exactly the sort of thing people are doing to me all the time. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated by people who do these things. Someone took a screenshot out of context that made it look like me saying this thing. In context, it's this. The cropped version is this. It's so much easier just to like. You don't have to like say the story. Just say what I hate this style of writing. It's so liary. Because even if he's not lying, because I don't think he's lying about that part. I think that's the truth, right? Among Us, got him. But I think having to like explain it for so fucking long, it just comes off as kind of shady. It's like you can just say your fucking piece and get on with it, Mike. Come on. Yandere Dev can't take criticism. I'm gonna protect it right now. In short, yes, I can, but I don't think that trolling is criticism. I have a examples of him being cool, explaining what he did, and explaining how he didn't hear it, explaining how he did, and then people saying untrue things. There it is. Yeah, okay. This is so fucking smug. And it's like I get it, but it's so fucking bothersome. It's so annoying to read because, honestly, just give the positive parts. Why say the negative part? With people are saying things that are mean to me, and that's not criticism. I'm a fucking victim. Like, goddamn, bro. Just say the positive part. Fuck the negative. Am I right? Am I right, ladies? Am I right, fellas? Fuck the negative. Am I right? I'm right. I'm sitting here and I'm right. I don't give a fuck. I'm right. Again, DSPing, Amberlining. Fuck the negative, mate. Just say the fucking positive. Yeah, you got the positive right there. Why are you looking at the fucking negative? You know there's a fucking positive. Why is the JFK speech here? Can I listen to that? I can listen to that for a stream. Listen to the JFK speech for like 15 minutes and that's just it. Uh, okay then. Alright. Holy shit, we got 4 bots in chat. You know the bots. If you with the bots, you know what's up. Okay, the final one. Yandere Dev doesn't believe that dissociative identity disorder is a real condition. In short, I do believe that's a real condition, but I also believe that people who fake mental illness as an excuse for inappropriate behavior. What if you fake being a pedophile? Is that better or worse? Probably worse. Probably worse. One of the people in my moderation team claimed to have a DID. I was supportive towards him for multiple years. Gradually, after observing his behavior for a long time, I slowly grew skeptical towards him. The more I interacted with him, the more I began to doubt that he really had real DID. Eventually, I drew the conclusion that he was faking the disorder, and using it as an excuse to roleplay as one of several characters anytime he wanted. Faking a mental illness is a reprehensible thing to do, so I made the decision to remove him from the moderation team. My experiences with that developer heavily influenced my understanding of DID, and led me to feel doubtful towards anyone who had claimed to have DID. I gradually developed suspicions that anyone claiming to have DID was faking a mental illness to spontaneously roleplay. I posted an announcement on my private moderators only channel explaining why a moderator had been removed from the moderation team. In this post, I expressed my skepticism toward people who claimed to have DID. This is the post I wrote. When I wrote that post, I was very fired up, because I had believed that I had caught somebody faking a mental illness. Oh, fuck. Just last year? Alright then. In that post, I made a sweeping generalization about all people claiming to have DID, which was a mistake on my part, you think? It is not the existence of DID that I am skeptical about. Only people who may be lying about having it as an excuse for inappropriate behavior. Even then, I still recognize I should not have allowed a negative experience with a single person to influence my understanding of an entire mental condition. You think? It was a post hastily written in a heated moment and doesn't reflect how I actually feel. Spreading the false and making the accusation that I'm ableist is an example of how the anti-yandere dev community paints a false image of me without knowing the truth or details surrounding the situation. In the time since the post was made, I have spoken with the moderator in question and has learned that I was incorrect. He does in fact suffer from legitimate DID. I apologized to him for mishandling the situation, and in the time since then, I have also developed a more comprehensive understanding of DID. What the f- Lean back, check the phone, scroll through. Hold on, hold on. Check IG. Did I make the post? Possibly. I did not. Let's post that real quick. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold up, hold up, hold up. No matter what you say or what you do, when I'm alone, I'd rather be with you. But fucking bother young is that right outside. The best in the found. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I got down with the video first. God damn. Shit, 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 shit. Alright, okay. So now that I've had time to kind of process that, I want to really try to comprehend. This is like the peak of Yandere Dev being really stupid and being wrong too. When people use the term comedy of errors, I think they don't use it properly. This is a comedy of errors. This right here is a comedy of errors. So okay, so one guy was faking a mental illness. No, he was led to believe one guy was faking mental illness just to roleplay. Okay, I can see that people do fake mental illness for attention or like overstate their mental illness for attention on the internet a lot of the time. That's a thing. I can vibe with that, I guess. Sure. My experiences with that one person who I thought was faking mental illness made me doubtful towards anyone claiming to have that mental illness. Then I made a generalization because I was fired up and I felt powerful because that's what that reads like right there. I felt powerful. I was fired up because I believed that I had just caught someone faking a mental illness. And then this right here, it's not the existence of the illness that I'm skeptical about. Only people who may be lying about having it as an excuse for inappropriate behavior. I'm not skeptical about it existing. I'm skeptical about liars lying. Do that make sense to you? Do that make sense? I'm not doubting that it's real. I'm doubting that people lie. I'm not doubting that it exists. I'm doubting people who are lying about it existing. I don't doubt the earth is flat. I doubt that there's people. Wait, no. I don't doubt the earth is round. I doubt that there's people. I'm doubting the people who may be lying about how it's round. So you doubt it exists? If you think everyone who claims to have it is lying, that means you think people are lying all the time about it, which means it doesn't exist. But okay, occur. Again, a DSP quote right there. You know, I'm a fallible human kind of moment right there. Spreading that post and making the accusation that I'm ableist because I generalize my entire knowledge of one mental illness with one person is an example of how the anti-yandere dev community paints a false image of me without knowing the truth or the details surrounding the situation. But then right after that post was made, I learned I was fucking wrong. And they had the entire time. How is that the anti-yandere dev community painting a false image of you? Because knowing the truth and the details surrounding the situation, it makes it sound worse, quite frankly. Because right here, it's like, he seems to be implying that... I don't know what he's implying here. What the fuck is wrong with this dude? Actually, what's wrong with this guy? What's the what's this dude's issue? What's this dude's major malfunction? Nothing about this makes him look good, nor does it make the anti-crowd look bad. It makes them look right. Because you based your opinion on a mental illness on one person who you thought to be faking. And not only did you do that, it turns out they weren't faking at all. So you were wrong? You were incorrect. That's what being incorrect is. You based your assumptions off of one person, thinking they were lying to you. You based your assumptions on an entire group of people off of an experience with one person. And then not only that, you were wrong about that judgment in the first place. You were double wrong. But then you're trying to say that these people didn't know anything about me being an asshole because I was double wrong? Okay. No, sure, no. Sure, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. No, wait. I can't type. Nope, I can't type. FX humbly submit a toast to Nicholas Alexander for successfully pirating it so he can play Defense of the Ancients. Congratulations, Nick. Enjoy your Dota. And with that, I think it's time we leave this in the dust. This was a fun read, and I think it's actually the longest stream I've done to date, which is it's a bit shameful, yeah. But you know, it is what it is. You can't really change who you are sometimes, you know what I mean? It's just how it is, you know. You live that lifestyle, you live that way. And so when you live that way, you just gotta, you know what I'm saying, mate? You just kind of gotta go with it. But yeah, the longest stream to date was a fucking Yandere Sim reading stream because I took a lot of vacations and fell asleep. But I'm wearing a sick fucking fit. Let's go. Let's go. Jersey fit. Let's go. If you ain't popping off, you ain't coming with. If you are not popping off, you are not coming with. Let's go. But I actually know tomorrow's a school night. Tomorrow's a school day actually. School in the morning and school at night. I have to go to bed kind of quick now. Kind of sharpish, tbh. But I, Scum God, humbly submit a salute to the person who might view this and somehow get this far. This doesn't even make for good background noise. I don't even have a good voice. I'm just sitting here bullshitting. And the good voice that I do have, that's kind of like this, where I go real deep. I can't do that consistently. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I apologize. But it is what it is. Might upload this early before Saturday. Might not. But I had a opportunity to be loud here, so I'm kind of nice with that. It's kind of nice. It's kind of fun. It is what it is, but I still do like. I'm just gonna. My favorite part here is Yonder accusing people and getting mad at people who turn out to be entirely fucking innocent. Just actually straight up innocent. Like, okay, uh, was this yeah, a person he thought was a troll who was actually just a fan who was just fucking annoying. And then where was it? Where was that a troll? Nah, but he blamed his haters for why he was being dumb. because sure, why not? And then the harassment one, which is just again a person who was pretty much entirely innocent being attacked either by his fans or by him because of the trolls. But this whole post right here has all of that. If you want to skip this entire thing, read this about how it's never his fault. But okay, let's go. It was a post hastily written in a heated moment and doesn't reflect how I actually feel. Spreading the post and making the accusation that I am ableist is an example of how the anti-yandere dev community paints a false image of me without knowing the truth or the details surrounding the situation. In the time since the post was made, I have spoken to the moderator in question and learned that I was incorrect. He does in fact suffer from legitimate DID. I apologized to him for mishandling the situation. In the time since then, I have also developed a more comprehensive understanding of DID. That's our Alex. Alright, see you guys later.